Couple of seconds. Joining us is local attorney Ron Miciotto. Hey, Mr. Ron, welcome back to KEEL. How you doing? Happy holidays.
Same to you. Thank you for having me.
Ron, a lot of people have been talking about the police chief's on medical leave. He was going to retire. Some are saying, can you fire him? Can you demote him? A lot of people with differing opinions. I thought, let me go to a guy who knows the ins and outs of this legal mess. But first, I want you to listen to what Adrian Perkins told us if the first thing he would do if he were elected mayor. You ready?
Sure.
Here he goes.
Call the police chief and ask for his resignation. That's number one.
Okay. He can ask for his resignation. Can he fire him?
No, what he would have to do is, as the appointing authority, the mayor at that point, if he's elected, would be the appointing authority. They would have to move to ask the Civil Service Board for a hearing to remove the chief for good cause. And that would be entailing putting evidence on that the chief didn't do things properly, and that would be the cause.
So if theoretically, let's say that Chief Crump were still in the chief's chair with the endorsement, with the backing of Mayor Tyler, but let's say that Adrian wins the election in a week and he comes in and he wants to change police chiefs. What if Chief Crump's, no, I like this job, I ain't leaving. What's the protocol? What's the process?
Well, the city attorney's office would have to prepare a request to go to the Civil Service Board and outline why they want him removed. Then the Civil Service Board would have to make a determination whether those reasons are sufficient to remove him, and then they would have to have a majority vote to remove him. And then, of course, he can appeal that to district court and the Court of Appeal and the Supreme Court.
So literally the chief of police of Shreveport, Louisiana, does not serve at the pleasure of the mayor.
He is civil service. He's protected by civil service, as all policemen and firemen. So he's got that protection. So he's already been certified as the chief. And to remove him, they're going to have to show good cause to remove him.
When you say good cause, what do you mean by that?
Well, that he, that he did things improperly, that he's incompetent, things of that nature.
Okay, Ron, let me ask you another question. Everybody's talking about, does the medical leave part of this change things too? I would think if I were pregnant and on leave, my bosses couldn't fire me. I mean, I could sue them. It would be a huge lawsuit.
Yeah, I think that they can remove him for cause, even though he's on medical leave.
So the same would apply?
Yes.
What do you anticipate happening if Adrian Perkins is elected? Do you anticipate this being a lengthy legal fight?
I think by the time it got to the Civil Service Board and there was a hearing, Chief Crump would already be gone. As far as retiring.
Would he switch from medical leave to retirement, you think?
I do.
Really? What makes you think that?
Well, I think he's ready to move along in his life and devote more time to his church. And I think he's using the medical leave properly. I think he's got a hip problem, and he wants to get that repaired and fixed. And then I think at the end of his medical leave, I think he'll retire.
You've handled a lot of stuff like this before. Can you, off the top of your head, recall a situation where at any level of government, when you had workers, policemen, firemen, et cetera, who were protected by the board, who just literally, no, I'm not going. I'm staying. I like this job. Come get me if you can. Have you ever had a case like that?
Sure. Years ago when Prater was the chief of police, he wanted to remove one of his assistant chiefs, and he petitioned the Civil Service Board, and I represented the assistant chief, and he was successful in removing that assistant chief, and that happened probably, I don't know, 20 years ago, 25 years ago, when Prater was the chief of police.
Talking to Ron Miciotto, let me switch gears to Ben Raymond for a minute. He's in a position they call substitute chief.
Right.
Does that verbiage change anything with regard to these requirements?
No, not at all. He's and he's not certified. So if a new mayor comes in and they want to appoint someone else as interim chief or substitute chief, they surely can, because he's not certified in that position.
So basically, pardon me, he's not, God, it sounds horrible, he's not really the chief rank-wise or legally, right?
Oh, he's legally the chief right now, but if somebody wants him out, they can surely remove him and place who they want to as interim chief.
Without cause on this one, right?
Yes, because he's not certified.
Okay. There's no plan to get him certified between now and Saturday. I don't get
There's
it.
impossible.
Okay. How long does that take?
It could take 6 months to 12 months, but he's not certified, so he can't fulfill that position at this point.
You have your nose in the middle of the police department's rank and file. Do they want a new civil service exam? Do they want candidates from outside the city? What do you hear, Ron?
I think they want somebody from in-house, from what my people tell me, and I believe that the new chief, whomever it'll be, will come from inside the department.